This is every anime I regret ever getting into. These are mostly popular series that I just don't like for one reason or another. Whether it's having weird plot points I can't get behind, the story just kind of feeling really contrived and going in boring directions, or anything. But at the end of the day, these are just my opinions. I'm not coming after anybody, just sharing my thoughts. So leave a like for more hot takes, or a dislike if you're sad and offended. So first off, I want to talk about Blue Lock. This is a series that I seriously really tried to like I gave it a lot of chances, but I'm just not a fan. So I read like the first volume-ish of this series, and it just was not what I was expecting. It was decent enough, but whenever they introduced like the aura stuff, I just kind of gave up on it. And then when it was coming out, I went to watch a bit of the anime, and I still just couldn't get behind it. And then later on, weeks after, I bought the manga because I saw just 3 volumes sitting at Walmart. It looked like some cool stuff was happening, so I picked them up. I read all the way up until the point where we're having our first real match where all the players are fighting to get a single goal for themselves, just so we don't get eliminated. And I thought I'd be able to get past just the cringe and like the ego stuff, and the characters just getting a little too excited whenever they score on someone. But the moment they start talking about having a monster inside me and it telling me to score is when I really just fell out of it. But I feel like I really could have got behind the idea of like the basically soccer death games, and that's all I thought I was getting into at first. But no, we have to have like the Yami Yugi of soccer possess you to win. If you like the series, I can truly understand it. It's super popular. I guess I'm the one that's left out. But the art for the series is really nice. The character designs are cool, but I didn't really like the actual characters themselves. And I am a bit newer to sports series in general, but the soccer sequences in here are just super easy to follow and admittedly really fun to watch. And although I have zero complaints about the anime, the adaptation's seriously top tier, but I really just don't think I could get back into the series. But if you could somehow convince me, I mean, leave a comment. So this is the first and only Fate that I've ever seen, and I watched both seasons of it, but I just couldn't get hooked, and I couldn't be bothered to go any further yet. So it's done by Studio Ufotable, the same guys doing the Demon Slayer adaptation, so I was expecting greatness, and a lot of these battles really delivered. And I was under the impression that it wouldn't be as story heavy as it was, but my god mate, there is a lot of fucking dialogue. The whole first episode is just words and talking and more words and more talking. From a studio that's known for more like animation heavy bangers like Demon Slayer, and then at the same time they're making series like this that are more slow burning and they build up to these crazy fights. But I truthfully just wasn't fully invested in these characters. There was the one big dude who was really cool, but all the other guys had like one cool moment that I remember, but that's really it. And a few months ago I noticed that when I watched this series, for some reason it skipped like the 3rd or 4th episode, which is one with the big cool guy in it, so just looking back, that's really fucking sad, and I probably would have liked it more if I actually saw that. People say that this is the starting point for Fate Online, other people say that this spoils Fate if you watch it. I didn't expect it to be so dialogue and character heavy. I really didn't retain much from Fate. I enjoyed the fights a lot, and it's about what I expected from the studio that go on to make Demon Slayer, and knowing Demon Slayer, I thought it'd just be a little more of like a turn off your brain and fight kind of anime. And I'd like to get in this franchise for real with a different kind of mindset and find out if it's for me, or if I should just go and watch the fights all chopped up on YouTube for me. Alright, someone's gonna be mad at me for this one. I do not like Maiden Abyss. I watched all of season 1, and then I went to watch the movie before season 2, and the whole time I just could not get behind it. The series' main focus is building up like the mystery and the horror of the abyss. Like we don't know what's down in this hole, and each layer is just more crazy than the next, and we just keep going deeper and deeper. The concept alone's cool enough, if anything else interesting was happening throughout the story. Because every step of the journey and the mystery of what's down here, it just feels really contrived, and nothing feels like it's happening naturally at all. So whenever the stakes do get high at that point, I'm just so out of it, I don't really care. I didn't like any of the characters. The main characters are super boring and flat, and then a lot of the side characters we find are pretty boring too. Like they just have been through some messed up stuff, and I don't think they really have any redeeming qualities outside of that. I'm aware this exists everywhere in anime and manga, but in Maiden Abyss, it's especially disturbing, just the creepiness. Our main cast of characters are all little baby kids, and they're consistently getting these disturbing and gory and just fucked up situations, and it is super gross to me. Yeah, and then they just show way too many bath scenes and offhand jokes that just really drive home the point that this is just weird and it's not for me. Like I don't care about any of the mysteries it's building up, and I don't really care about what's down in the next layers of the abyss, because whenever this is just such a prevalent aspect of it, it just really pulls me out of it, and I'm not a fan. I can really respect if somebody didn't like Mushoku Tensei for like the same thing. Like Rudy is not the best character, but I really think that there's a greater argument there to be had, because it really is like an actual plot point and it's relevant to like the greater themes of the story. And outside of that, I really believe that there's just so much more to love. And then really quick, here are just some honorable mentions I guess before the final big one. Just some series I don't have as much to rant about. So first off, a bit out of left field is this fucked up series, reincarnated as Inukai's dog. So this is a pretty recent anime, and as a joke I put on episode 1, and it truly left me stunned. This This anime seriously just should not exist. A man dies and gets reincarnated as this girl's dog, and then it's just full of the ecchi and rom-com situations with her and her dog. And I don't think I need to say more. Why is this anime a thing? The scarier part is that there's somebody out there actually enjoying this. Is it you? Oh god. Is it you? No, don't tell me it's you. Oh, you sick bastard. And then I figured I'd throw the spicy one in there, because I got an alarming amount of comments on my really popular video about Rent-A-Girlfriend. I don't know if y'all were trolling, but are people actually keeping up with this series? I mean, I have no words at all for this series, really, but I feel bad not putting it on here. Imagine going to a store in real life and buying this manga. You have to look someone in the face, and you have to slide this book towards them, like, yes, rent a girlfriend, please. Why is this series still ongoing? I am sick of seeing it, but there are probably some die-hard fans out there, and if this is a series you're invested in, you probably need it. Don't come for me, please. And now, the final entry I have here is Attack on Titan. I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I really liked Attack on Titan all the way up until the end of Season 3. Until then, there were just some small plot points I didn't like, and some directions the story ended up unfolding in that were just okay up until then, but nothing to make me dislike the series any. Attack on Titan getting to this point is damn near a masterpiece, and you can fight me on that one. But in Season 4 is when I really fell out of love with the series. This is when the studio for the anime changed, which alone was something lots of people had a problem with. I do prefer basically every aspect of the old art style more. There were just a lot of things in Season 4 that just fell off animation wise. I'm sure you felt that too. But that alone isn't why I started to dislike the series more. But it's really all that combined with the fact that the crazy time skip just happened, and we're getting an entirely different perspective from anything we've known before about this world. So it's just really hard getting used to all these new things getting thrown at you. And everything we knew in this world is just so different. And at this point, it really barely feels like Attack on Titan. There were some good moments, like there's the one big reveal, which kind of brought everything back into place at that point. But up until then, it was still pretty just confusing. But I'm not being specific so no one's spoiled, but yeah. But if you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And then over in part 2 of Season 4 of the final season, it was just moving at a really slow pace, just feeling like it really wanted to stretch things out as long as we can. Just getting through was a grueling process, especially after already reading the manga at that point. But I will give it credit where it's due because the new final season had a really good 45-minute episode with beautiful animation and some directing that really sets in like the dread and just sheer terror of what is going on here. Wow, aren't you surprised I haven't said anything about the ending yet? Which is the #1 leading cause for Attack on Titan haterism. So to simplify my thoughts the best I can, it is just such a shame. It fell flat in every aspect I can think of. Characters we think we know are just aren't acting like themselves, and it's not character development. It just feels like a different character just came out for the final chapter. The outcome has left no one happy. There are no winners. Mikasa ain't happy, Eren ain't happy, the world ain't happy, and we're still just in this endless cycle of hatred. And we get enough of an epilogue seeing what everybody's doing now and what happened to the world, but it just doesn't sit right. Like, it's so somber and sad, and there are just so many lines of dialogue talking about how, like, basically saying we didn't really win, like no one really won. We get a few extra pages where we just see that, yeah, this is just a cycle, nothing is solved, nothing happened, everything we did was basically for nothing. So yeah, just all around being left with way more questions than answers up until the very end. And those extra pages really just did not serve to answer anything at all, really just added even more questions. It's so annoying. I really like this channel, Brown's Magic. She talks a lot about an anime original ending for Attack on Titan, and I've gone down like the AOT rabbit hole a lot to learn this stuff, because it's just really interesting. But the best proof that I can give for an anime original ending, from what I've personally seen, is that Isayama has said that blatantly that he literally ripped off the visual novel Love Alternative. The original Love game had a bad ending, similar in hitting a lot of the same beats as Attack on Titan, carrying a lot of the same themes and some characters acting like exactly the same. And then later down the line, they ended up releasing Love Alternative, which had like a fixed ending, and it's universally loved based off of everything I've seen offline. So taking that in and knowing that he's ripped off this series, do you think Isayama is going to change the anime to fix the manga's mistakes? And to go along with that and to further drive this one home, another piece of anime original evidence is that in the Blu-rays, a little bonus interview, I hope I can fucking find this because no one will believe me if I don't show it on the screen. Isayama said that he would want to give his manga readers a different experience than the anime watchers. The idea is really cool that he would want to have an anime original ending. Either way, it's fun to think about, and there seriously is a ton more evidence for this too. I just gave the few points that I think are just really fun to think about. But either way, at this point I really have just given up with this series, especially if nothing has changed in the anime, because it was just depressing, especially seeing where Attack on Titan was at its peak. But if the ending is changed, I'd be happy and I'd be able to finally see the series again in a different light. But the evil side of me wants everybody to get the bad ending so that I can see everybody's reaction to this train wreck. Alright, that's all I got. Thanks for watching to the end. Expect more quality and semi-consistent uploads, and let me know what kind of videos you want to see. Come catch me live sometime, just hanging out and making memes. Have a great day.